Class is now in session. I'm Professor Hockey, and today we will be discussing the NHL's return to play situation. So, in the past few days, the NHL has managed to iron out what exactly is going to happen for the play-in series and the playoffs to follow. They've ratified the CBA. It's been extended a few years. The players, the NHLPA, have voted on it. They have agreed to it. And amongst other things, like the NHL's return to the Olympics in 2022, the NHL has figured out the format that they're going to run with. So we are already in the middle of what is called Phase 3 in this situation. Teams have opened their training camp, and there have been some bumps along the way. Some teams have reported players with positive tests, but otherwise it has gone relatively smoothly. Within the next few days, teams will travel to their respective hub cities. Eastern Conference teams will head to Toronto, while Western Conference teams will head to Edmonton before a few exhibition games to get teams warmed up and up to speed near the end of July. And then on August 1st, that's when this play-in round starts. So on August 1st, it's going to be obviously the 8 best of 5 series, as well as the round robin. It was a wonder whether or not the round robin between the regular season's top seeds would occur prior to the play-in series or after the play-in series. It seems as though NHL, being really strapped for time, wanting to get things done as fast as possible, decided to put these two events side by side. And so when you turn on the TV, for instance, on August 1st or on August 2nd, August 1st will only be play-in games, but on August 2nd and days after that, it's going to be, a 50-50 whether or not you end up watching a round robin or a play-in series. But because these are together, days will hold a lot of games, at least 5 games per day, if not 6 games per day. And unlike in the regular season, when games are normally starting from 7 o'clock and onwards, and so multiple games will start at the same time, the NHL wanted to maximize the viewing experience, I guess, to try and probably maximize a profit. And as such, games are actually sectioned over an entire day. You might have a game when you wake up. You could turn on the TV, there's a hockey game playing, and by the time you turn in for the night, you're going to be turning off your TV with maybe hockey still going on. So NHL, if you're an NHL fan who has been starved for NHL hockey, as it hasn't happened for over 4 months now, you're probably going to enjoy this format. Now, as I said, NHL very strapped for time, and so this is only going to last from August 1st to August 10th before a single day break, and then the first round starts, because the NHL wants to award the Stanley Cup no later than October 4th, meaning these whole playoffs and the play-ins in general need to happen within just 2 months. Normally, the playoffs for a regular NHL season take about 2 months to go down, maybe slightly less, sometimes even slightly more, depending. And so the NHL fitting in this extra round in just the 2 months shows just how squeezed together games are. In fact, for some playoff teams, or some play-in teams, I should say, in the best of 5, teams will be playing at times back-to-back games, which is pretty unheard of for playoffs, because normally back-to-back games are much more difficult to deal with than regular spaced-out games. However, I guess with no travel, maybe the back-to-back games won't be too bad. Anyhow, after the Stanley Cup is awarded no later than October 4th, the draft will get underway right away, October 9th, basically that weekend. And then at the same time, or around the same time, free agency will open for all the teams, and it seems as though the NHL is gunning for a potential regular season start coming right near the beginning of December. Now, they also want to still keep an 82-game season, so either the NHL will condense a regular season somehow within just a few months and keep a playoffs and try to end the season around where it would normally end, or we may have some lasting effects from this pandemic, from this delay of this playoffs for the 1920 season, and it could have a lasting effect for the next couple of regular seasons, though we'll see what happens. In terms of my plans, since there has been such a drought of hockey content, and then this play-ins, all eyes are going to be on the play-ins in the hockey world, I will likely be covering that, and the Sharks, unfortunately, are not participating. They were one of the few teams who did not get to participate because they were just that bad in the regular season. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be reporting on any Sharks news if it were to occur during this 2-month period, as of course any signing or trade or any news within the Sharks organization I will have a video on, but more or less I will be talking about the play-in series and of course get back to Sharks content once that Stanley Cup is awarded, unlike the previous year when the NHL draft didn't matter for the Sharks because they had no first round pick, while the Sharks will not be picking 3rd overall with their original first round pick in the coming draft. They will have a first round pick from the Tampa Bay Lightning, And while that will be late in the round, it will still be a first-round pick nonetheless, and I'll cover that in detail when we come close to that. Class dismissed.